Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Meadows misfires. Former FLA Deputy Chair dials back Twitter wrath. Tomlinson slams remarks as distraction. One of the island's most respected gender specialists is calling on the country's men to resist the urge to use demeaning or derogative terms to refer to women. Dr. Opal Palmer Addison was responding to comments made on social media by former Deputy Chairman of the Firearm Licensing Authority FLA, Dennis Meadows, who seemingly characterized former PNP's Youth Organization President Crystal Tomlinson as #BabyMother13 in a Twitter board on Thursday evening. Tomlinson is the mother of dancehall artist Beenie Man's 13th child. We need to be clear that women's body and what they do with their body is their responsibilities, Palmer Addison stated. They feel they can tell women what to wear or what kind of action they should take with men, and that's really wrong. We need to understand that the historical context of that is as a result of patriotic thinking that women are to be led and defined, she said. She argued that this was a demonstration of inequality and prejudice. And so, for someone in an argument to use that as what they might consider a valid argument to dismiss a woman's need to understand that there is action, in fact, discriminatory, said Palmer Addison. Meadows' corrective post was in response to Tomlinson's criticism of an interview on Nationwide Network. Commenting on the interview, Tomlinson said that Meadows was struggling to sound honest when questioned about accusations made by FLA CEO Shane Dolan about the former deputy chair's conduct as the FLA director. Like you struggled to remain #BabyMother13 but failed miserably, my effort was not to convince the likes of you. It's a futile effort to convince those fixed on finding a reason not to believe you, Meadows responded. The backlash was quick, with many Twitter followers saying Meadows as disrespectful and going much too far. Dennis, my vagina and reproductive choices aren't your business. The FLA was your business. Being diligent, fair and accountable in executing your duty was your business, Tomlinson replied. When reporters contacted Meadows, he said that those who knew him well could confirm by nature he is civil and well-mannered. I respect man, woman and child, but those who dare to question my character or seek to impugn my good name will feel my wrath. I am only human. I am not pretentious, he reported. Hours later, he bowed to public pressure and apologized for his tweet. On reflection, it's undeserving and unbecoming. It's an affront to women's reproductive rights and choice. Given the circumstances, I'm not in the right state of mind, he tweeted 16 hours after the initial post, adding that he was unreservedly apologizing to Tomlinson and the motherhood. Speaking with reporters, Tomlinson, a junior national minister on gender issues for the opposition PNP, said the country should not allow Meadows to use sexist remarks and aggression to distract from the matter. The allegations made by Shane Dolan against him are damaging and should cause every Jamaican to be awaiting a credible response from him, she said. Efforts to get a further comment from Tomlinson following the apology proved futile. Me only live and fret. Clarendon family in dilapidated house seeks help to better living conditions. Irene Morgan, a resident of Cornhill in Smithville, Clarendon, who is now in her late 60s, says she has nothing much to look forward to except to live and fret. She lives in a dilapidated house with the flooring threatening to give way, water and daub walls seemingly on the brink of collapse, precarious roofing, and the windows battened down with zinc to protect against the elements, a recipe for disaster should the slightest force come against it. Morgan broke down in tears as she looked at the pit latrine she utilizes as she spoke with reporters. Leaning like it's about to topple, its seat is exposed and some of the board of the floor are loose. Around 10 years now, we're there with the toilet, and a sudden storm, a sudden rain and everything, it just full. And so we fix it mashed down back because it full of water and me not have no money cause me foot sick, she explained, tearfully reflecting on her living conditions. Morgan says her partner of over 30 years has been unable to provide for her as he used to, as for 3 years now, He has been battling a prostate condition that sees him bleeding at the slightest exertion. As for herself, she said that for 15 years she has not left the yard to go to my pen, as she has a vein that bleeds badly at the slightest touch, a condition doctors attributed to poor circulation. Me can't go nowhere. This one a bleed, sometime it foot swell big and sometime it draw down, she highlighted. Morgan said there are days when she has to resort to begging money as her children, including one who lives with her, along with her 4 children, are not working and are unable to offer her any help. In a similar situation, they need assistance themselves too, she said. Lord Jesus, you know say me depend the part program of advance through health and education. From that month come in and me get a money, me no have no more. Nothing more again, cause me no have nobody to help me, she mourned. Councillor of the Frankfield Division, Clive Mundell, who called reporters' attention to Morgan's plight, said he has been trying to do whatever his resources allow, but her condition is so bad that he is hoping to exposure will give her some desired help she so badly needs. I reached out to Food for the Poor when I discovered that she had an application there. I checked to find out how far along her application was. I took pictures of the house and sent them. They responded and sent me some documents to be filled out with a justice of the peace attesting to it. That was done, he informed. Mundell said that the Clarity also attending to others with the same or even greater needs. He also encouraged Member of Parliament Peter Henriquez, who he said promised to expose the possibility of her getting a home through the Housing Opportunity, Production and Employment Hope program. We are hopeful that one or the other will come through for her, Mundell explained. With the hurricane season just 3 months away, Morgan said that with no extended family to turn to, she is already worrying about what will happen if the structure collapses. Me only a live and fret and I pray to God that me no sick, cause me no know what to call upon, she said, adding that her father, who hailed from Manchester and was brought to Clarendon to work, never went back. Him no go back to Manchester from we know about the family. Me mother family them, most of them dead off, so I'm me alone. If me dead, me no have nobody to bury me, she said. Police constable saves the night. So the plan was to visit 5 parishes in St. Elizabeth and overnight in Westmoreland, to visit 3 more places the following day to get stories for the Cleaners Jamaica 60 Monthly Parish feature. After leaving the other members of the team at Whitehouse, Westmoreland, I headed towards Savannah Lamar, from where I was instructed to travel to a gas station at Good Hope. Upon arriving there, I did not see my contact nor his vehicle. It was a few minutes after 8. When I got my contact on the phone after 2 attempts, he told me he could not leave his yard as his vehicle would not move. My transportation and accommodation arrangements were now blown to Negril and beyond the cool evening breeze. I was stranded, it seemed, and I had less than 10% of power in my phone battery. I went into the store at the gas station to get some power on my phone and told the cashier of my predicament. She made some calls to see whether I could get accommodation for the night elsewhere. She was not successful, but I remained very calm. As I was about to look for an outlet to charge my phone battery, a young man appeared beside me. He identified himself as a police officer and told me he had overheard my story. We stepped outside, but I could not tell him exactly where I was going as I was expected to be picked up. When I connected again with my contact, I gave the officer my phone and stepped away. Based on what the officer was saying, my contact was giving him instructions on how to find him, as he was still not able to leave where he was, which was not walking distance to me. It was at that moment I placed my finger on my panic button. Uncomfortable situations I do not like. When the officer got off the phone, he was moving around to find a bottle in which to put gas to take to my contact, having been given some landmarks and directions. I could not believe what I heard. How were we going to find them? The important thing was for us to meet my contact at a certain spot. We kept looking out, making sure we did not miss him as we traveled on a seemingly unending road. We also delved into a getting to know your conversation without realizing it. All this time I was still puzzled by why the cop had left his own business to make sure I was okay. I must have been the luckiest person in the world, I thought. And as fate would have it, we saw my contact at the side of the road. He had walked to the pitch dark to get to that point. Upon realizing that we still had some ground to cover before the final stop, the officer opted to take us there. This was about 10 o'clock. The road to the final stop was rougher and unpaved at points, but the officer's heavy-duty vehicle was what the doctor ordered. And when we reached the final spot, I could see the extent to which I would have been unreachable by my contact if the officer had not rescued me. In the dim flashlight, I could see we were surrounded by thick vegetation. The air was fresh and the mild breeze was cold. After chit-chatting briefly, the officer left, leaving me wondering about who in the name of my ancestors he is. Did they send him? Constable Sanjay Mullins is a well-spoken 5-year veteran of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, one of the first officers to work in the first zones of special operations in Mount Salem, St. James. He has also worked in West Kingston, St. Catherine, and is now stationed in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. Born and raised in the cool hills of Shudley, Manchester, he graduated from Manchester High School with 11 Caribbean Education Certificate subjects. He also has a City and Guild certificate in automotive technology. My dream is to own and operate a complete car care and service center, he subsequently reported. Documenting his travels around our beautiful island paradise is also on his list of things to do. I was moved to publicize this experience because I am grateful for Constable Mullins' selfless intervention and act of extreme kindness. He is the epitome of hope for this country, as the night could have turned out much differently. He did not know who I am, and he did not ask. The same is true for my side, so there was mutual trust. I help as it's a part of me to help when needs be, and it sounded like you had an emergency as you were asking the cashier for the police station, so I tried to help, and found it's just gonna take me much an hour, he said, when asked why he decided to help a stranger. Felt proud that I helped someone in need and the person was thankful. His efforts lasted more than the hour, and I will always remember the night when Constable Sanjay Mullins, an off-duty police officer, saved me from possible major embarrassment, no questions asked, the very same night when both of us saw something not from this realm at the very same time. I wish him the best in all his endeavors.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the